You want the truth? I have cried over this work. Cried from exhaustion. Cried from humiliation. Cried from the realization that I am surrounded by people who say they love me, but will let me get eaten alive for speaking up. I have sat alone in the dark after going live, shaking, not from adrenaline, but from the violent silence that follows when you pour everything you have into the world, and the people who you thought would catch you don't even flinch. I've recorded videos with my heart in my throat, my voice raw from shouting over the algorithm, from shouting over colonialism, from shouting over a world that's already decided I'm disposable. I've gone to bed afraid of my inbox. I've opened emails that made my skin crawl. I've read comments that made me question my own safety. Every time I think, surely this is the worst of it, something worse comes along, and I still show up. Do you know what it's like to drag yourself to your desk, tired, underfed, broken, knowing that if you don't post, the work dies? If you don't carry it, it gets twisted, co-opted, stolen, erased. You know what it feels like to have no team, no funding, no security, no cushion, and still create every single day like the world depends on it. Because for some people, it does. There are kids watching me from townships, favelas, and project stairwells who DM me. My videos give them language that they never had. There are elders in my comments saying they finally feel seen. There are people across oceans quoting my words in protests I will never attend. Yet somehow, I come back to my own community and find crickets. I walk through this hell every day. Not figuratively, literally, every single day. While you scroll, while you save, while you nod, and do nothing. I've sacrificed relationships. I've lost friends over this. I have damaged my own mental health just to keep the truth alive. Cruelest part? The pain doesn't come from the haters. It comes from the people who say they love me and leave me to bleed alone. I built this reach with a body that shakes. I fought these battles with a stomach that's sometimes empty. I stayed up strategizing while having anxiety attacks. And still, you just watched. Not because you're evil, but because you've grown comfortable with the idea that I will always be here, that I'm built to survive what would break you, that because I've gone viral, I'm fine. I'm not fine. I'm hurting. I'm scared. I'm tired. And the fact that I have to perform success while unraveling in private is a violence all its own. Do you know what it's like to sit alone at 4 a.m. watching the notifications roll in from videos that are doing numbers while wondering if anyone would even notice if you disappeared? This is the cost of truth in a world built on lies. This is the cost of being the first to say it. This is the price of telling the truth too well. And what hurts most is knowing the people who could help me carry this choose not to. They say they admire me, but they won't defend me. They say they believe in me, but they won't fund me. They say they see me, but they never step in when I'm under attack. They just watch. And in that stillness, I've learned something brutal. Admiration without protection is not love. Consumption without contribution is not solidarity. Silence in the face of violence is violence. You want to talk about what this platform has done? 3.9 million views. Still, I walk through the valley alone. Still, I spend my own money just to keep this going. Still, I sacrifice my own sanity just to build something that might outlive me. And while the entire world watches, you don't even share the link. You watched me bleed. Now you're going to hear me roar. Now that you've heard the ache, let me tell you what comes next. Because I'm done mourning in silence while being consumed in public. If you stayed quiet this whole time, thinking your passivity was neutral, then this is the part where I reintroduce clarity. With fire in my chest, and numbers in my fist. Let's go back to the data, because the numbers don't lie. But you did. You said you had my back. You said you supported the message. You said you believed in liberation. But I've had to do all this with no safety net. You know how violent that is? To stand in front of tens of thousands who build a literal international audience from nothing, still wonder if your own people would even defend you when the mob showed up. I've been publicly smeared, privately stalked, algorithmically punished, and yet the message only grows. Why? Because it works, because it cuts, because I built something so unshakable, even the platforms trying to erase me had to pay me to stay, and yet you still thought your silence didn't matter. Let me make something perfectly clear. Every time you watched my content and didn't repost it, you helped the algorithm suppress it. Every time you saw me attacked and said nothing, you helped normalize my erasure. Every time you waited until it was safe to support me, you were only ever loyal to safety, not truth. Let's talk about how fake solidarity works. People want to praise you once you're profitable, but go ghost while you're vulnerable. People want to wear your words like a badge, but leave you exposed when it's time to fight for the body behind the voice. You think because I'm smart, I don't feel? You think because I'm strategic, I'm not human? Let me tell you what I feel. I feel rage when I open my inbox and see hate mail, while the people I made this content for say nothing. I feel humiliation when I get DMs and comments begging for more sources, explanations, and context, while I haven't slept, eaten, or been paid in weeks. I feel betrayed when people quote me without ever linking to me. I feel heartbreak when I realize most of you want the work, but not the worker. Let me be direct. If you have benefited from what I do and have never defended me publicly, funded me directly, promoted my content consistently, or used your own platform to shield me from harm, then you are not my community. You are my audience, and I am not performing for you anymore. Because here's the most brutal truth. This isn't sustainable, and it shouldn't have to be. No one should have to martyr themselves to get your attention. No one should have to sacrifice their mental health just to be heard. No one should have to burn out for a crowd that will only cry once the ashes are cold. You want to help? Then show the hell up. Share and save the videos before they hit 1 million. Comment like your voice matters, because it does. Push back on white supremacists in the comments so I don't have to keep doing it alone. Send money without needing a crisis first. Promote my link tree like it's a life raft, because for me, it often is. Speak my name in rooms where I'm being erased, because what I'm building here is not about me. It's about us. But us requires you. You don't get to cheer for the insurgency and then abandon the insurgent. You don't get to wear the aesthetics of revolution and then sit on your hands while I take all the blows. You don't get to be inspired by my pain while doing nothing to lessen it. This is a line in the sand. No more passive consumption. No more passive consumption. No more ghost supporters. No more silence in the face of harm. Because the next time you watch me get attacked and stay quiet, don't come back when I win. Next time you ignore my work until it hits your timeline through someone else's mouth, don't claim to love me later. Next time you call me powerful, but leave me defenseless, remember, you chose that side. You don't get to come to the feast if you refused to carry wood when I was starving in the cold. So here's your decision point. You can keep spectating, or you can start protecting. But you will no longer be welcome in the space in between. I've built this with nothing. I've fought with no army. I've given more than anyone should ever have to give. And still, I am the one standing. So if you're not with me now, don't pretend you ever were. Cope.